And all the ladies say. And all the ladies say.
What's you jamming? Okay, you want to turn it back on so you keep going?
I was like, hey.
Listen, you got the music. I should have let you do that today.
Next time, I got you.
That's right.
Time.
Look, next time we're going to be out live somewhere in a place and partying. And we'll just come in for a little bit of the feed. But yeah, we're ready for that.
Yeah, feel me?
Yes, absolutely. Well, welcome, DJ Diamond, the artist, to Champagne and Conversations. And cheers to you. I think I saw you had something in your hand.
Thank you guys for having me. I know I'm in the Matrix right now, so
yes, you are caught in the Matrix.
Now you don't see it. Now you see it. Now you don't see it. Now you see it.
I warned you.
Cheers to you.
How are you?
I am doing excellent. I actually woke up today, so that's awesome. That's
Amen.
Just the greatest start to anything, and God has provided us with this beautiful, magnificent, wonderful day, and God has provided us with Wi-Fi and the ability to connect with one another. So I am just a ball of joy right now. Thank you so much for having us today, Valencia. And I say us because it's me and my DJ equipment, as you can see, in the Matrix.
Absolutely. It was definitely a pleasure to connect with you and be able to go through a journey before we got to talk to you. And now, obviously, we're going to continue this journey today. Thank you for all your contributions. Thank you for keeping it so classic. A lot of the videos and things that I looked at with what you were doing, you definitely took it back to when we were growing up. So I know you have all of that in you, and we can't wait to find out all of that great information.
Well, I was, I saw that you definitely you've been doing your homework on me, and you've been digging. And,
I do.
That's the sign of a great journalist, a great interviewer, a great, just a great person that wants some real history on the how the music got made, and not just the person now, but what made the person up. So I salute you on that. Not everyone does their homework like that.
Oh, and my goodness.
You done found some things on me when I was just a kid. I'm saying. I couldn't have been no more than 18. I'm like, dang,
watch out, y'all. I could do it.
Valencia Jones was digging in the crates. I'm like, oh, man.
Yes, that's it. I was excited about it. I like to spend a lot of time. Hip hop, of course, we grew up on it. And it's just been definitely a piece of us, the culture, and then now leaning back towards it in this pandemic, or whatever we call it at this point. And the quarantine, I guess it was a layer of comfort to be able to go back and just listen to some of the music, just like a few minutes ago, I was just listening to Pee Wee Herman. Like, do you remember that song? Like, I mean, what?
Shout out to the big bro. Shout out to the big bro, Joski Love. He made that song.
Yes.
And I used to cut that song to pieces. Shout out to the great DJ Clark Kent, because Clark Kent used to cut that record up so mean, and that made me want to cut it up. Yeah, big bro Clark. He used to kill that record, and I was like, I got to do that. So
okay, we need to hear it. We need to hear that. You need to post it. But yeah, I was on listening, and I heard Pee Wee Herman. I was like, who? Between we just finished the Humpty Dance and doing the tribute to Shock G, rest in peace. And then when that came on, I was like, we used to have a ball back in the day, right?
Well, one thing you may not know. Well, I don't know what you know, because you've done so much. You know so much. Yeah, you know so much history on me. You probably know more than I can even tell you. But one of the I'm what I am, for the people that don't know me, is I'm everything. I'm Mr. One Man Army. But one of the things that I am a championship battle DJ. And if you don't know what a battle DJ is, I'm the guy that does all the scratching. If you've seen the movie Juice, you know how the DJs battle each other. Like, that's what I do, and I've won. Right. I've won 5 championships. So
congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But that was back when I used to know what I was doing. Now I just press the button. See the button? I just press the button. But back then, when I actually, was in battle mode, I used to like get real busy on the turntables. And one of the routines that I'm very famous for is my Humpty Dance routine. which I actually posted in honor of Shock G's passing. What was it, a couple of weeks ago? It was like 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, the bottom of, was it top of May? So yeah, we
Yeah,
just,
about 3.5 weeks ago or something like that. So I posted it. It's on my page, on my social medias at DJ Diamond the artist. So you can just go on my page and you can check it out. And one of the funny things is, I'll just segue into it since you mentioned
I
Shock
was
B.
gonna say, take it away.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, since
You
you
made
mentioned,
life easy.
well, yeah, I just walked on into it. just
You want
I,
every question, the last four. Go ahead, keep going.
so since we're talking about the great Shock G, and when I say the great, I mean the great.
Yes,
Like
yes. Rest in peace, Shock G. Absolutely.
a lot of people don't understand the musical mastermind that we lost. You know what I'm saying, with Shock G. The history books will tell it, and they'll get it. It'll snap in eventually. Like, wow, this guy was amazing. Like, I know we were talking about my Humpty Dance routine, which I'll get back to how me and Shock G actually met. But did you know that Shock G did all the piano parts on the song "We Are the World" with Michael Jackson?
Did we had Young Hump do on, and another member of Digital Underground,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave us some gems as well. I don't
Yeah.
know if he spoke specifically to We Are the World. We'll have to go
Mm-hmm.
back and check the episode, but I know that he spoke about his piano contributions to, or his musical contributions by way of the piano, for
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
of the other things. And as you stated, in terms of history and what books are saying, this is what we love about having a conversation, because it
Mm-hmm.
allows for us to hear the history of
Absolutely.
what is
Absolutely.
happening. So yes, keep going.
Well, yeah, getting back to the history with me and Shock G.
Mhm.
As you know, I'm Prince's original DJ. May Prince rest in peace as well. Um,
Rest in peace, Prince.
so
Yes,
when I was battling this,
amazing Prince.
oh, that guy was amazing. I could talk about him. It'll take 6 interviews for me to finish talking
We're
about
gonna
him.
get there. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
it was amazing. So before I was with Prince, I was a battle DJ, and I won a lot of prestigious titles, and that's kind of how it migrated me to end up being with Prince, because I was the hot DJ at the time. Prince happened to be looking
Sense.
for he happened to be looking for a DJ. You know
Mhm.
how God works, put the right person in the right place at the right time. Boom, I'm now Prince's DJ.
Fireworks.
So that's how it happens. So fast forward maybe, I don't know, 7 8 years later, um I'm no longer Prince's DJ, because at that time I had my first record deal as a rapper. I rap too, hence DJ Diamond the artist. See, now it kind of makes sense now.
Look at you.
So I had my first record deal, my solo record deal, as an MC. So I left Paisley Park. I left the band in good graces. Prince didn't want to see me go, but he wasn't going to hold me back either.
Mhm.
So I think this was after I produced my first album. How did I can't remember exactly how. Um, oh no, it was at an industry event, and Shock G happened to be there, and somebody introduced me to him, saying like, "Yo, this dude, he's a real. First of all, he's a dope DJ, and he's a sick MC, and he's an incredible producer. I'd like to see you guys collaborate." It was some record executive. I can't even remember his name, but
Mhm.
he knew Shock well, he knew me well, so he introduced us. Turned into at least a 2 hour conversation. Me and Shock was just
It's
like brothers from another mother. We were just talking shop, talking music, musicality, the way the direction music was going, and so on and so forth. And somehow it got onto the subject of well, have you always been rapping? What are we doing? I was like, well, I'm actually a member of the New Power Generation, and I was working with Prince for several years or whatever. And he was like, yo, I'm such a huge fan of Prince. And that's when I told Shock, I was like, yo, Prince and myself and damn near everybody else are such a huge fan of you and your work. He was like, no way. But Shock G he was such a humble guy. Like, if you know him, you loved him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, no way. I was like, yeah, man. He was like, yo. He was like, matter of fact, Get Off was inspired by the Humpty and Gangsta Glam. Those records, a lot of the sub basses that are going on in those songs were inspired by the Humpty Dance.
Wow.
And it blew his mind when when I told him that. You know what I'm saying? Like the record Get Off really is an inspiration of the Humpty mixed with In Vogue's Hold On. That's what that record, that's what made Get Off. He didn't sample them, but he did his interpolation of it. And that's how you have Get Off. And then it spawned off to the subcut of it, which is Gangsta Glam, as you posted. You know what I'm saying?
As I posted, but you know, it's funny because I heard something else on that track too. With the beginning part of it, and you're saying In Vogue, but I didn't even think about In Vogue till you just said that. But I heard Cars Ride By.
And guess what song they sampled for Cars Ride By?
Okay.
They sampled Hold On by In Vogue.
Okay.
So you
Can you step back into the matrix, please?
Oh, I lost my headphones. I'm going all the way back.
Going back into the matrix. That's right.
No, but here's the thing. You already in the matrix. You right there. That's why you got all them records behind you. You pegged it because it's the same thing. You just heard the version that you're familiar with.
Yes.
That's where LL and Marley Marl, whoever made the track, got it from. They got it from In Vogue's Hold On.
Okay.
And so we right here.
We right here. All right. Good.
You know, so I told Shock G that, right? You know what I'm saying? Blew his mind. And he was like, man, he's like, yo, I can't believe that. Sorry, there was some noise outside. He's like, yo, I can't believe. Yeah, it's crazy around here. It's like you know, music and Daytona 500 mixed together.
There you
go. So I told Shock about it, and you know, he couldn't believe that, you know, like the great one and only Prince was such a fan of his music, and that he even inspired Prince. That's the, you know what I'm saying, that was like one of the craziest things. So the conversation went on, and you know, I told him, I was like, you know, I'm not just a tour DJ, but you know, I was formerly like a battle DJ. And he was like, word? He was like, yo, I watched a lot of those battles, man. He's like, yo, I'm into the scratching and all of that. I didn't realize he was a fan of the culture. So then we started talking shop about, you know, DJs, and he was like, yeah, he's like, do you know Battle Cat? I was like, yeah, I went up against Battle Cat. Battle Cat, he's amazing. You know, Battle Cat is a huge dude on the West Coast. If you're not
absolutely. I follow him.
Right. So you already know who Battle Cat is. That's my guy. But and he's like, yeah, man, and there's a few DJs out here, man, that actually was using my records and they were going berserk with it, man. He was like, you know, some of those Humpty routines was like crazy. And he said, this is what he said to me, the funniest thing in the world. He didn't know who he was talking to. This is the funniest thing. He said, yeah, man. But you know, out of all of the dudes I saw that used my records in these battles, there was this one kid that stood out. It's like, yo, man, not only did he rock my record a certain way that no one else did, but he brought this bad chick on stage.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna ask you.
And yo, he was cutting the record up while he was dancing with her.
Oh
and
my
God. He was freaking her while he was cutting the song. And I turned to him, I said, yeah, that was me.
That was you. 18, was it? 18, 19?
I was 18 years old.
Yo, yes. I was going to get you with that one.
So Valencia, Shock G
he knew it.
Lost his marbles. He said, no way. I said, yeah, that was me. I said, ask Battle Cat. He was in the same battle. I said, we were competing for the United States DMC championships. And that was the night I did that routine. And Shock G told me, and this is what blew my mind. He said, do you know me and the crew watched your routine about 1,000 times until we wore until we wore the tape out. I was like,
that's what's up. Isn't that so dope though? That, you know, you guys were paying the flowers forward and that he was giving you guys the same flowers. That I think that is just amazing. That definitely history.
That was amazing.
To be made. Now that you brought up that, I've got to ask you a couple of questions in regards to the performance. The first I was going to ask you was, now, did you plan that choreography, or was that just a date that you had to take the young lady and you wanted to make her feel special, so you decided to bring her up on the stage?
Nah, like it was planned. It actually didn't work out as planned, but it was fine because the people didn't
Who
really
knew?
realize it. Right, they didn't know.
Yeah.
But no, it was something that I had planned to do. But the thing is the girl, she was a friend of mine, like from even younger or whatever. But
Okay.
it said recording stop. I don't know what happened.
It should be. We're still good. We're still good. You can keep going.
Oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
cool. Oh, but yeah, and hold on. Can I move this for a second? Is that gonna mess anything up?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
You're good.
All right. Let me, yeah, because it
Now you're gone.
hold on. Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna just leave it as is. It looks different. Before we were side by side, but
You're good.
okay. Now let me see. It doesn't matter. Okay, cool. So okay, but maybe you can, I don't know if we can edit that out. I don't know how that works. Maybe some TV magic. I'll go back in the matrix like, oh, my arms is gone. Oh,
That's it.
all right.
That's
So
what live is all about. It's just real.
yeah.
We're just
Yeah,
real
yeah,
on here.
yeah. It's all good. I love it. Okay, so back to
So
me and homegirl.
your choreographed event was actually not planned, but it was planned because you did have a young lady come out.
Well, yeah, it was planned, but it was like planned over the phone because she wasn't around. Like there was no rehearsal. That's what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying.
Uh-huh.
So it was like I was like, yo. So back then, we were using vinyl records. It wasn't like we have the computer to where we could type in the song and it magically appears. So
Sure.
literally, we have to keep switching song after song and vinyl after vinyl. So in those competitions, you were allowed to have someone hand you records to
Okay, we
make
saw that.
to make life faster. So
Right.
everybody had like their person to hand them the song so it could go quicker. So she was my record hander. But
Oh,
I
nice.
over the phone, I was like, yo, when I cut this Humpty record, he says some kind of freaky sexual things. I said, I'm at some point, be ready because I'm gonna grab you and I'm gonna do something. So you just
He's
work
ready
with.
for that.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
I was like, just work with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go with the flow.
Right.
So it wasn't like we had time to practice this. It was the first time we ever did it, but we talked about it, but it was the first time we ever did it, and it worked out
It
incredibly.
was
So
dope.
yeah.
Absolutely. Congratulations on that. And obviously, you had already selected the song that you wanted to do when you brought her into that. So that wasn't something that was just off the cuff that you just grabbed the record and.
Oh no, it was definitely the Humpty. I mean, my man said I once got busy in the Burger King bathroom. He kept saying like I'm a freak. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the girls with the balloon. He said everything that I needed.
That you
So
needed, right?
yeah, so it was
So
great.
when you're doing your DJ, and we're going to go into the art of this for a moment, so don't mind me, but I'm just a DJ, like I'm a fanatic with that. I'm gonna just tell you, when I was a little kid, I just thought that I could do it on my little record player and I could scratch a little bit. So I'm going to ask you some of those questions. But are you speaking with the music when you're playing, to the audience? Are you using the different beats and the different messages and that when you're like mixing them together, to present as an event or what have you? Are you doing any of that?
I'm not exactly sure exactly
So, for
what you
instance,
mean.
if you're into the Humpty dance, would you come out of that with something else that you would want to speak to the audience with, some sort of rhythm, some sort of message, or you just kind of grabbing the music as it goes, or are you just kind of feeling the
Yeah,
flow?
I've never been one to have like a really planned out, mapped out set with anything. And I think that's probably
Okay.
why that could be one of the main reasons why I won so many battles is because I would have an outline, like an overview
Okay.
of what I wanted to do, but it almost never ended up being that. And then most of the stuff I would kind of have the outline and I would freestyle the body of the whole thing. And that's kind of, it worked for me. But there's DJs that are so regimented that they can do the same routine, the same way 100 times in a row and do it flawlessly. That's not me. You're lucky if I do the same thing twice in my lifetime. I'm not that guy. I'm more of just the, hey, we make it happen how we make it happen, and let's pray to God that it works. And a lot of times it works.
So are you pretty much embodying the situation? Whatever you're feeling in that moment is where you're living. You're not just doing something that's kind of pre-scripted or pre-planned, like you said. Okay. So you're just kind of doing it as you go, which is dope because you don't lose that energy. I mean, for instance, the clip that I posted, which is why I'm asking that question. I think you were 7-8 minutes into that scratch, although you said you were going to do 2. Well, you did do 2 at the end, but I mean, you did do another at the end, but you were in that song scratching for a moment and it looked like you were having an out-of-body experience, like you just stayed there for a few and no one bothered you, you know, they were clapping and that, but I was just like, okay, do you kind of lose yourself when you're there and you just let it go? Okay.
Absolutely. I'm
okay.
And that's probably why people say I'm one of the greatest performers they've ever seen on stage, because I a lot of times I don't know what I'm gonna do. I literally, you know how people say, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm like, God, just take the needles and just let's go. You know, just whatever we're gonna do is what we're gonna do. And it shows it shows when I perform. Like if I have the human beings in front of me and there's energy, you better believe I'm gonna give them that energy back. And the more energy they give me, the more I'm gonna give back until everybody's just out of energy, until everybody's just exhausted. And then you're gonna go home with memories.
That's a party. Like, that's a party. Come out your heels and your flip-flops. That's a party.
Right.
So you say that you often DJ, or you now started to DJ for a lot of the folks that you used to be fans of. What was your most memorable experience out of those folks and feel free to name those people that you have you actually DJ'd events for, but what was your most memorable?
Wow, that's hard, man, because first of all, I don't remember half of the stuff I do, because I think I'm just high all the time, and I don't mean like smoking or nothing like that. I'm high off of life.
Sure.
And so, I mean, literally, I don't remember a lot, but I've done so much. Like there's people that's like, yo, you don't remember when we performed at the such and such and such? I performed at places 2 and 3 times, and you didn't realize I performed there already, because I've been so many I mean, I'm on my 4th passport. Like literally, I've been around the world 10 or more times.
Nice.
Like to every place. I've been every place that anybody would ever want to go in their lifetime. And also a ton of places that nobody would ever think about going in their lifetime.
Nice.
And so it's hard to say like the most memorable moments of that. But one thing I could tell you though, this I can honestly tell you, I could tell you my personal biggest moment in my career is kind of going to circle back to what I was talking about before when we were mentioning the Great Shock G. My biggest moment in my career, I'll paint the picture for you really quickly. So life just worked out crazy, where I ended up getting called to fly to Minneapolis, to Paisley Park, to sit in with Prince's band. Like at this point, Prince already wanted me, but still, we had, like how me and you were meeting, we still have to meet. He had to fill me out to see if he could work. He never had a DJ. I don't think any pop artist had a DJ at that point. This was like a first. You know what I'm saying? So
did he say why he wanted a DJ to be on tour with him?
Later on, you know, he just told me that he just loved what DJs were doing and what they could bring to the table, and he just wanted to see if it could work with a band.
Okay.
And it was an experiment that won, because now damn near every band that goes out has a dope DJ band. So I could have been first. I never really thought about it like that, but I could have been the first. I don't know, you know. But if I'm not the first, I'm one of the first. That's for sure.
Right.
So,
nice. And who was in the band? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll name everybody in a quick second.
Okay.
So I fly out to Paisley Park, and of course, you know, you walk in there, it's like a kid walking into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It's like,
wow.
Like you never seen nothing like this in your life. I don't know what it looks like now. I haven't been there since before he passed away. I can't bring myself to go back there yet. I think they turned it into a museum, so I don't know what it looks like now, but back then it was crazy. It was like it was walking into Prince's world.
Right.
If you can imagine what stepping from the outside regular world into
No.
Paisley Park was.
What was that like? Was it purple? What color was it?
It was like this.
We back in the Matrix. I mean, were there was it music? Was it art? Was it, what kind of decoration was in there? Piano, guitar. Oh, okay.
It was everything that you just
Yellow
mentioned.
Brick Road.
Everything that you just mentioned and more. Okay. If you've ever been to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Oh wow.
That's the only thing I could compare it to, because it was
lions, tigers, and bears too.
And oh my, don't forget oh my. It was all in there. Yeah. So wow. So yeah, I'll get to the description of that a little bit down the road.
Okay.
All right, so I first get in there and I'm amazed, right? I'm amazed. I'm walking through like, I can't.
I would be too, indeed.
I mean, I talk about living in Long Island, but I was born in Bushwick, Brooklyn. So I'm like, I'm this kid from, the Bushwick, Brooklyn, the concrete jungle, to Brentwood, Long Island, to now I'm in Paisley Park. This is amazing.
Now you're in the Matrix.
Yeah, I'm inside. I swallowed the pill. I'm inside the Matrix. Okay, so I'm walking through all the way to the back because I had one of his assistants was oh, how was your flight? And I'm like, hey, everything's great. And I was like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm here. In my mind, I'm saying that. So I'm walking all the way in the back, right? I didn't really get to see what's in the rooms. It's just this long walk all the way to the back. So I get all the way to the back of the building. And we make a right and we walk into this place that was the size of an airplane hangar. And when I tell you, you could park a 747 jumbo jet comfortably in where we were. The building it looks big, but it didn't look that big from the front. So it was, and this was Prince's production area, not production of songs, but production for the shows.
Okay.
Like when we would rehearse, they would build the full stage at Paisley Park. Okay. The same stage we fly around the world with was built at his facility. Wow. Unbelievable. So there was no stage there, right? It was just empty when I got there. It wasn't empty. It was just, there was sound guys, there was speakers, there was boards, there was, what I'm saying? And, my turntables were already sitting on a table. I had a riser and everything. I just walked in. They took the stuff straight from the plane and put it on there. This is back when we used to fly with our turntables. We don't do that no more. But so my stuff was set up. It wasn't fully set up, but I had a tech guy. I had my own personal tech. I didn't know what a personal tech was. I had a personal tech to set my stuff up for me. I don't talk about years because I ain't that old, but it was.
Oh my goodness.
So but moving right along. So I had a personal tech, right? Who was gonna set up my stuff for me. But I was so, it was my turntables, with my stuff. I was so used to setting up my own stuff. I was like, no, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. He's like, yo, they pay me for this. I was like, don't worry about it. I got it. I'm not gonna say you're not doing the job, but I like to set my stuff up a certain way. So it's funny. I'm in front of a mixer now, right? So I was in front of my mixer. I had my head down like this, right? I'm just like this. So I'm plugging in the wires and stuff. And while I'm looking down, I see these two yellow boots pop up on the riser. And I look up and it's Prince standing right in front of me. Now this ain't like, Prince in a sweatsuit, with a wife beat on. And this is Prince from Purple Rain with the blouse. You know what I'm saying? He had the slacks, the pumps. This was Prince. So I looked up at him. I didn't know what to say. I know it. And he reaches out his hand and shake my hand. And you know what he said to me? He said, I'm so glad you could be here. I'm such a fan of your work. That was my biggest moment in my career.
Yes,
I'm
lost all faculties at that moment.
hand,
Like what?
hands down, hands down.
Where's that guy? Come hook this stuff up. What are you doing? Come do it.
I'm still dumbfounded
I'm
to
not
this
doing
day.
this.
And
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you my second biggest moment at some point too. But
Congratulations, by the way. Let me say that first, and then
thank you.
you can continue on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But
Yes.
I mean, like you know that I mean, winning the stuff and the accolades and the music and there's a lot. My life is so dope. There's so much great things that God has blessed me with. But that was probably the biggest of them all. For that musical genius, which is what he was, to tell me how much of a fan he was of what I do, I was like, oh wow,
Right.
that blew me back. So I would say that had to be my biggest wow moment of my career.
Yeah.
And
Might have been of your life unless you've had children.
oh no my son trumps all of that. My
Oh,
child.
yes.
Yeah. That's why I say biggest wow moment of my career. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nothing beats motherhood or fatherhood. Nothing beats
Yes.
that. But
Right.
so my second biggest moment happened a few years ago. It was I want to say maybe 2015, 2014, 15, maybe 16, somewhere around there.
We're getting
When
years now. We didn't get years before, but we're getting years now. Okay, that's fine.
we'll give you years during this decade. I got you with that. During these times, you get years.
Okay.
But
Just making sure.
no, I got you. So so my next biggest wow moment was when oh yeah, that's right, with Diddy too. That's another one. But I would say that's my third biggest one. But my second biggest wow moment is when the world's greatest entertainer. You know who the world's greatest entertainer is?
I would lean to say Dougie Fresh.
You would be leaning correctly. Ding 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 ding. Ding. You have just won some more champagne and conversation. Holla, holla.
I
Yeah,
can be inducted now.
you should be. And you know you know your stuff, girl. And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. So
Okay.
so my second biggest wow moment was when the world's greatest entertainer, aka Big Bro, Mr. Dougie Fresh.
Yes, we love Dougie.
Dougie Fresh pulled me aside one time. We had just did an arena somewhere, I forgot, and he actually went out into the audience to watch everybody else's performance. I think he was closing the show as he should be because he's still the greatest. Um, and he had pulled me aside after the show and he said, "You know what, Diamond? I don't know if I ever told you this before, but you're the best." And I looked at him. I said, "What? What do you mean?" He was said, I've seen every DJ perform, and I mean every DJ, like from DJ Hollywood, Love Bug Starsky, to
And
you
he's
know
right, right. Mm-hmm.
to you know
Talks about him all the time.
to the
Mm-hmm.
newer DJs, so on and so forth. And he said, I feel you're the best. I was like, I'm speechless. He said there's something about you on stage that no one else can match. I was like, wow, man, that was the most, again, you know, that was like Prince saying it to me, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Doug, you know, I nicknamed him, I call him Thanos because he's, you know what I'm saying? Dougie is the ultimate in the universe.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
nobody wants to go on stage after him. It doesn't matter if you have the hottest record out right now. You don't want to go on after Doug.
That's cool.
Doug is the closer. And
Yeah.
that's really what it's supposed to
Shout
be.
out to Dougie Fresh, my Virgo brother. Yes, he
Yeah.
actually opened up Champagne and Conversations with us. He was our first show.
Oh, that's dope. That's so
Yeah.
dope. That's
Yes.
so dope. Yeah.
Yes. So we definitely love Dougie. Yes. But I wanted to ask you, as it relates to all of your experience before we shift into the next phase of the DJing,
Mhm.
as if you were talking about the band for Prince, who was
Yes.
members of the band at that time?
We had my boy Tommy Barbarella on the keys, incredible. We had a horn section. I don't remember all the horn sections name, but they was dope though. That I can't name all of them because it was like 4 or 5 of them, but they was like super dope. Um, of course, beautiful Big Mama Rosie Gaines. She was singing on Diamonds and Pearls and all the gangster glam and
Yes.
all the get
Hence
off
my
and all that
pearls.
stuff.
Yes.
Yes. Um,
Yes.
on guitar, we had one of the funkiest individuals ever. His name is Levi Cesar. Oh, Levi's funky. Woo, it's funky. And then you want to talk about even more funky on the bass. We had a gentleman that actually played with James Brown for years as well. So you got to be funky. My man Sonny Thompson was on the bass. Woo! Sonny was funky. Still is funky. They all funky. You know what I'm saying? Just super funky. So and let's see, we had my boy oh yeah, oh my goodness, on the drums. What am I? I'm bugging out. We had my boy Big Boy. He weighed like 400 pounds, and when he hit them sticks, you felt all 400 pounds of them. My man,
Wow.
big man Michael Bland was on the drums. Oh man, that was serious, man. Michael was Michael was so serious. He hit the drums with the fat end of the stick.
That's why you felt all 400 pounds.
That's why you felt them.
How are you doing that? Did he break them ever?
Oh yeah, his drum techs,
Okay.
they hated him. They was reskinning his drums all the time. But I mean, you couldn't mess with him. Like
Right.
the sound, he would shake the arenas the way he played.
So
Like
he was
unbelievable.
embodying his craft as well, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you had my boys, the TDK dancers, which was Tony, Damon, and Kirk. And Kirk didn't just dance. Kirk actually played percussion. So he was a percussionist on stage, and Tony was the lead rapper. He was the one you saw rapping on Sexy MF and Gangsta Glam and just all the other songs. Tony, that's my big bro. Me and him was like the closest in the whole group. He like took care of me. He showed me the ropes. Like I had been on tour, with groups and stuff, before Prince, but it ain't, that was a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
I was doing hip hop shows.
Yeah.
This was a Prince production.
Yeah.
Like this was a whole nother world. So
Yeah.
Tony, shout out to my brother, Big Tony M, aka Tony Mosley. He took me under the wing and was like, he showed me how to move, he showed me how to not get caught up in the hype. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a kid out there in living in fantasy land. So, he kept me grounded while I was out there. So it's dope. And Tony also played guitar too. He was one of the lead guitars as well. So he rapped and played guitars, and then Damien was just the illest dancer ever.
Yeah, that awesome, amazing
And then of course,
talent that you had around.
of course, Prince.
Yes, amazing talent that you had around. So was this was Prince New Power Generation. This was one of the earlier groups, and obviously he had an interest in some sort of rap, some sort of kind of fusing pop with hip hop or something, because that wasn't the normal type of group. What was his thoughts on putting this group together?
You know what? I don't know, because the group was already together by the time I got added. So I got added to the New Power Generation. And just so you know, the New Power Generation was his last band. Well, no, I'm bugging. I don't know.
Way, with that pop, hip hop culture going on, for sure.
In that era,
and then he went totally over to the pop after that.
Because that's when he had met Maite, and then she was the belly dancer in the group, and then he ended up dating her, and then he ended up marrying her, and then I already had record deals as a rapper. I was doing my own thing, so I don't know what was going on actually. I'd see Prince throughout the years, and we still had a great relationship.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a part of the situation after that. So I don't know if it stayed the New Power Generation. That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good, because I gotta find out, because I think at that time my homegirl ended up DJing for him, and unfortunately she's resting in peace as well. Rest in peace to Pam the Funkstress. She's dope. She's dope on them turntables too. She was so dope. Pam the Funkstress, aka Purple Pam. That was her nickname. So she was DJing for Prince for many years as well. But I'm not sure if it was still the New Power Generation. I don't want to give the wrong information. I'm not
Yeah,
100%
it
sure.
didn't last past, I want to say 2000, 2001.
Okay. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
didn't look like it had gone past it, but I didn't know. Maybe you all had changed names
Uh,
because that was the infamous thing to do as well, was to upgrade. So I wasn't sure
right.
when the name changed
Yeah,
and
you
who
got to
assumed position thereafter.
You know what? That's one of the first three things I learned from Prince was that you have to learn how to reinvent yourself.
Oh,
That's
that
so
was the
important.
way, was to change
Yeah.
the name.
Well, that's one of the ways. Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But that's one of the three things I learned from. One of the things I learned from him immediately, which I implemented throughout my career, and it's the reason why I've never been starving throughout my career, is ownership. Like, you see people posting these videos where later on he's talking about ownership. He was drilling that in me when I was a kid.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
like,
It's
he was
some
like,
out right now that he's talking about the,
yeah,
yeah, the need to be able to do that, or, you
yeah.
definitely want to do it in the industry.
Because
So
remember when I came in, he had just changed his name to a symbol.
I was going to ask you, were you part of the
Right.
symbol? Okay. So
Yeah.
he had started the symbol already. Okay, good. All right.
Right.
We got
Right.
that. Mm-hmm.
So, nobody knew. We just thought it was Prince being Prince, but I mean, it was to get out of his contract with Warner Brothers because they owned the name Prince, but they didn't own him. So he's like, okay, I won't perform under that name no more. Everybody already knows who I am anyway. What a genius.
What a
And
genius. Because of course, to the public, we think, okay, what is he doing now? Why is he doing this? What, this is being weird. And
right.
so from the business perspective, which obviously we didn't have these type of platforms to ask these
Mhm.
questions. So we just had to sit with it until 30 years later, we find out why.
Right.
But yeah, dope. I mean,
Yeah.
genius in the sense that you had to get out of it. That's the best way to do it.
Yep.
Because some
Pure
people would
genius.
stay in them or even have to lose their careers if they didn't want to stay in them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely was awesome.
You got to be careful.
Congratulations to you for that.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love the story. I was so excited to
Thank you.
hear about working
Mhm.
with Prince, and I'm, just growing up and listening to that music, and just trying to understand. I mean, obviously Purple Rain was just, it was just a whole thing in and of itself at whatever point that came out. But
Mhm.
I mean, we were little, I'm just saying, and to watch that as a young person, it was just like, whoa,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was
Like I
just like,
said,
what is this?
and
But
that was made that's what made it so crazy. Like, I watched this guy on TV. I watched this whole Purple Rain thing and all of this stuff, and now I'm here with him.
now the
Like,
yellow boots are standing in your face, and you're
I'm
like, hey.
yeah, I'm and now I'm like with this guy every day, and now like it's not just music anymore. He's become big bro. You know what I mean? Like, just it's amazing how life works out.
Amazing. And I've heard other interviews that they've said he was just really cool. He was down to earth, really cool,
Yeah.
just like simple things, fun things. So that made it nice also, because obviously we saw the artist, if you will, the
Hmm.
complexities of the artist and not really always understanding the person. So for
Yeah.
you to be able to kind of step behind the scenes and see, just how the person was, that's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely.
Yes. So
I've done a lot of great things in my life, Joe. Like, I can't complain. Life is good.
congratulations for that. Yes. So
Thank you.
now, after we've left that set of amazing, and guys, I know we're going to go back a little bit because we didn't do this in the way that Diamond the artist career started. So we're going to flip it and take it back to the days when you were DJing with the legendary group EPMD,
Hmm.
and how that all started and how that journey was. And you also worked with Craig Mack, the late, rest in peace,
Hmm.
Craig Mack. So
Hmm.
just talk to us a bit about one, EPMD, and just your
Hmm.
experiences with that.
Well, it kind of like I think it happened organically and also demographically because, like I said, I was born in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Lived there for like the first 8.5 to 9 years of my life, and then my parents ended up moving to Brentwood, Long Island, and Brentwood, Long Island was how I ended up meeting Craig Mack and Eric Sermon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already a DJ. Shout out to my brother DJ Greg G, and my brother who's no longer with us, my brother DJ Maniac. May he rest in peace. Like they schooled me on the turntables. So by the time I was 8.5 years old, I was nice on them turntables. I started rocking when I was like about 7.5, going on 8. By the time I was 8.5, I was official. Like they used to take me to the block parties around Brooklyn, and I used to go by the name DJ Baby J, and I used to blow people's minds with what I could do at that age. So yeah, so it was kind of tough because when my parents, moved to Long Island, they wanted to give me a better life. My brothers didn't come because they was older than me. It was like 10 and 9 years older than me. I was the
baby for real.
I was the champagne and conversation baby. I was like, baby, come here. I'm feeling good tonight. You know what I'm saying? I was that baby. There was a big gap between me and my brothers. So
I love it.
They were old enough.
Champagne.
Be
careful with that.
Gosh, man, you got to be careful.
Be careful with
that. Exactly. So
you were warned.
Yes, I was. So I ended up moving to Long Island with my parents, and it was weird because it was like I became my only child now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just me and them, and it was tough. I didn't have no turntables. I wanted to DJ bad. And here's the okay. I gotta jump for a second, but I'm gonna jump back to EPMD because I know that's the question you asked me. But I luckily, when I moved to Long Island, and I thought hip hop was over because there was ducks and deers, and Bambi was living out here, and it was crazy.
In Long Island?
Yeah,
okay.
There was roosters.
Hip hop was over because you had moved to the suburbs.
I thought hip hop was over.
Oh wow. Okay.
But let me tell you how God works. I moved to this street called Noble Street. Noble Street happens to be the block that the diabolical Biz Markie lives on. So God moved me right down the street from Biz Markie.
Look at God.
God is amazing. So, and he's one of the first 5 people I've met moving to Long Island. Now, obviously, he was much older than me, you know what I'm saying? But he just took a liking to me like I became little bro. So as he developed in hip hop, he would bring all of that information and that knowledge back to the hood and bring it to me directly.
Right.
So literally, like all the tapes, like these cassette tapes that are going to end up in the Universal Hip Hop Museum. Biz brought all of them to me and said, listen to this. This is the L Brothers. Listen to this. This is the Cold Crush Brothers. No, you guys, no, hold on. Listen to this. This is the Force MCs. Before they were the Force MDs singing, they were the Force MCs rapping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the list goes on and on and on. But I heard all of this as a 9 going on 10-year-old kid. So even though I wasn't in the middle of the concrete jungle where hip hop was happening, I still was connected to it via Biz Markie, my big brother. Mm-hmm. So, and this is why in any interview I've ever done in my life, I have to thank him because literally
another legend. We give him his flowers, and we pray that he gets well.
We're praying he's recovering well.
Yes.
We just we got to let him do it in his own time. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tara, his wife, and the whole family. Everybody's taking care of him, and we just gotta let God do the work. Yeah. So with that being said, I had the hip hop bug. You know what I'm saying? I kept it up. Biz kept me wanting to be what I was supposed to be, was hip hop. So obviously I'm in school and I met Craig first. I met Craig Mack first. Craig, I met, it was funny. Well, actually it wasn't funny at the time, but I met Craig because I beat this dude up for him. Like Craig was if you knew him, you know what I'm talking about. Craig was he was a big guy, but he was like a gentle giant.
Okay.
He wasn't like, he just wasn't a tough dude like that. That wasn't his thing. Maybe later on in life he had to get tougher because life got like that. But younger, he wasn't that wasn't his thing. You know what I'm saying? He was a real nice guy. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't his thing. So me, in Brooklyn, I used to fight all the time. So fighting for me was nothing. But Craig used to get bullied when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you saw how Craig looked, you could have cracked some jokes about his face. It was what it was. Yeah, I mean, people,
I mean, but he didn't look intimidating. So I mean, to the point where you can mess with him. I would think that I wouldn't have tried him at all.
That's the weird that, like I said, he was a big Craig was twice my size, and the dude I beat up was twice my size. He was Craig's size. So I saw what he was doing to Craig, and I didn't even know Craig. I was like, yo, man, why are you picking on the guy? And then me and him got into it, and I ended up winning the fight or whatever. And then me and Craig just became super close friends, from the beginning. Actually, Craig Mack introduced me to my best friend, Lenny Ace. Lenny Ace is the person who drove me and Eric to the Bronx to do our very first show ever. And Craig set that up. So yeah, it's just it's crazy cool how everything works.
Very cool.
So
and did he come to Long Island to pick you up?
Who?
Lenny Ace. Did he
No, Lenny Ace happened to live like 10 blocks away from me. And I just no, I'm sorry, 4 blocks away from me.
In Long Island.
Yeah, and I didn't know him.
So once again, my point was the hip hop was still around you, although you were in the suburbs.
Yeah. No, well, but I fast forwarded till I was like 16.
Oh, you're better now. You've healed from that.
Well, no. But I'm just saying, like, I'm the car ride. I was like 16 going on 17.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just messing with you saying that when you were a little child, you were so traumatized by moving out there. But at this point, you've gotten comfortable at being out there because you now know your surroundings and those folks that are there.
Yeah. But
I'm just messing with you.
No, but you're good. Because you're right. Because by that time, I was cool. But
you're cool now. Okay. Bambi can stay.
Yeah, it was, Bambi. We had ducks next door. There was roosters. It's bananas. But you know what? I wouldn't trade in the suburbs for anything now because that's my peace and quiet. I look out
absolutely.
I got my big giant backyard. I got all of the. I love everything, man. I love it. So
yeah.
I met Craig first, and then obviously I had to go to school. So I met Eric in school, and by that time, I was making my name in the hood as the hot young DJ. So if anybody was having a backyard barbecue, I was DJing. If anybody was having a house party, I was DJing. And eventually I started DJing the school parties. You know what I'm saying? I'm maybe like 13 at the time, and Eric was like a year and a half older than me. So he's probably like 15 at the time or whatever.
Right.
So I was the hot guy DJing all the house parties. And Eric would come to the parties and be like, yo, can I get on the mic and rap? And I was like, I don't care. Good. I already knew him from school. He was mad cool anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, he was nice on that mic. So, there was local MC battles and, Eric battled people and he was eating them up. I was battling DJs, eating them up. So this was like the house party scene. So yeah, hip hop was alive and well in Long Island.
Yeah.
The city never knew about it.
All.
Right. Nobody in the city, nobody in the boroughs respected us. Nobody knew about us. They only knew about Biz because Biz was what I like to call the ambassador. Biz would go.
Nobody beats the Biz.
Nobody will ever beat the Biz ever. Let's be clear on that. Nobody.
Yes, nobody.
So Biz, he was the ambassador. Biz would go to Harlem and become Harlem. He would go to Queensbridge and become Queensbridge. I don't know. I've never met anybody that could do this. He would go to Jersey.
That's a shining star.
He would become Jersey. It was just like it was just like
light up a room.
Yeah. What's those things that they make the cartoon of that you play with? Legos. You know how Legos fit into each other? Biz would just step in wherever his environment was, and he would just fit right in. And this is why
a chameleon.
They loved him in the Bronx. They loved them in Harlem. They loved them in Staten Island. They loved them in Queensbridge, Marley Mall.
We loved them in DC.
Everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Biz, helped people understand that Long Island was dope, but they wasn't a believer. They believed in Biz, but they didn't believe all they knew was Long Island was cows was out there and sheep and farms, and that's all they knew until they heard Rakim. Rakim is from Wyandanch, Long Island. When Eric B and Rakim came out with Eric B's for President, everybody thought that Rakim was from Manhattan. He got to be from like Harlem or the Lower East Side or something like rhyming like that. No, he's from where the farm animals are. He's from where Bambi lives. He's from where the sheep. You know what I'm saying? He's from where the sheep herders. And after Rakim, everybody started looking at Long Island differently. Like,
he's over.
From Long Island. And then after Rakim came, Biz Markie would make the music. Came with Nobody Beats the Biz. They're like, yo, that's Long Island too. What? Then here we come, EPMD. It's my thing.
That's fire.
Like, yo, Long Island is incredible.
Yes, look at that. Then Noble Street worked out.
It worked out. Do you remember me from Noble Street? They called it the Vapors. Yeah. Noble Street worked out. So
it worked out. Yes.
It worked out. And then, after us was De La Soul, which was nobody knew where they came from because they sounded different than mostly anything that ever happened. And in between all of that, Public Enemy. Now think about all the groups I just named.
Good night.
You feel me? Everybody sounded different. Everybody had their own unique style and flavor. Yet we was all from the same place. We was all from Long Island. And none of us sounded like any
no. And everybody had a different flow, a different approach to the hip hop game, which is amazing. And to be still so close in proximity for one another, and you still had different identities, which that's what Dougie says. You had to be your own. You could not bite off of anyone. So that was it. So your best moment out of all of that being with EPMD, what would you say? A performance, or was it just hanging out with them?
Nah. I would say my best moment with EPMD was 2015.
Wow, you got all the way through it. Okay.
When I did my first reunization show with them. I DJ'd for them in Charlotte, North Carolina at the CIAA.
Okay.
The show was probably the worst show we ever did together, but it didn't matter. I was back on stage with my original group. I was back on stage with my boys. And from 2015 to present, I am their current DJ.
Awesome. So what's the plans? Were you all performing before COVID?
Oh, absolutely. The funny thing was we had a tour that was supposed to start March 22nd, and the world shut down on March 12th.
Oh, well, yeah, but here I think it was like the 27th. So I'll say at that date.
March 12th was when it shut down. Because that's when the stock market crashed. I'll never forget that date. That was when, well, actually the tour was overseas. So maybe they just shut down flights, and maybe they stopped in and out of the country on March 12th. That much I know, because the stock market crashed. I remember that. So I don't know what day they pulled the plug on New York City.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, that you might be right. It might have been the 27th, but I know anything overseas was done.
Yeah.
As of March 12th. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you all had a tour. So now that tour has stopped and everyone is just like, what are we going to do now? Which has led you to obviously putting things online and doing your lives and, all of that. Are you all planning to take the tour back out once out of this? Looks like we might be on the verge of being able to go back outside. So are you all going to plan the tour again, or what do you think?
Well, yeah, the tour itself that we had planned, they just canceled it again. It was scheduled for 2021 and now it got moved to 2022.
Where
Which
was it?
This was all Europe. This was a European tour. But and I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, because they keep opening and closing it.
Yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd rather
Right.
everybody go out and be responsible, you know,
Absolutely.
get vaccinated, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it doesn't matter if you don't get affected by COVID, if you're asymptomatic, if you don't get yourself vaccinated, you're still shooting bullets at people like me that could die from it. So you have to, everyone has to be responsible with this. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I've caught COVID twice, not once,
Really?
but twice during this
Have
pandemic.
you? Well,
And
such a blessing that you are here to talk about it. And I won't put you
absolutely.
through that process, but I mean, obviously you're here, but what was that like?
Oh, it was, you know, it was like Debo from Friday. Rest in peace, Tiny. It was like Debo smacking you in your face, saying, "Give me a chain, Craig. Give me a chain. Give me a chain." For days and days and days. Like, if I didn't go get medical attention, you probably would never have met me.
Oh,
It affects me very bad. You know what I'm saying? So, and some people, like I said, some people it doesn't affect. You know, it's a crapshoot. And then some people get like the flu from it. You know what I'm saying? But they can still get over it. This, my body can't fight on its own. I need to get medical attention. This is the first thing in my life that my body couldn't win the fight.
wow.
So
How
so
long
that's
did
what
you have it?
um I mean I guess it lasts 14 days or whatever,
Oh, okay.
but yeah,
But then
mine.
there's some after effects. Do you still feel any of that?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling that now. As far as like my strength, I'm I would say pushing it, I might be at 60% right
Oh, wow.
now. And I had it months ago. You know what I'm saying? I might be running at 60%.
Wow.
2 weeks after I had it, I couldn't do one push-up without being out of breath. And I'm a guy that I could do 50 in a clip anytime for anybody, anywhere, throughout any time of my life. I've always tried to stay as physically fit as possible.
Sure.
I do got some pandemic weight on me now, you know what I'm saying?
We all do. Don't
But,
worry.
but well, but mine ain't in the good spots. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know if there is a good spot. When you say, like I said, when I get from the bottom and I get to the middle level and I'm winded, I can't get to the top steps. I'm like, okay, we got to start doing some sort of regimen in here because this
Yeah,
isn't going to work. So we
yeah,
get it. But I am so glad that you are feeling better. Thank God that you were able to shake it not once, but twice, as you
yeah.
said. And
But I don't want it no more. I don't want no more parts of it. I mean, it's like I'm a former martial artist, so I can only explain it like every time I tried to breathe, it felt like Bruce Lee was kicking me in the ribs.
oh my gosh.
Like, and
Yeah, I mean,
I've never had a breathing
heard it.
problem. I've never had asthma. I've never had nothing. So for this to do this to me, I'm like, yo, man, I feel for anybody that has a,
Right.
a pre-existing, you know, lung condition like asthma or any type of congestive whatever. You got to be super, super careful because you might not make it. And rest in peace to Fred the Godson. He's
Yeah.
a perfect example
Yeah.
of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is serious, you know. And there's still people running around like, yo, it's a government conspiracy. I'm like, conspiracy or not, I don't know who started it, but it's real. I know people that have perished from this personally.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know,
It's been
you
definitely.
talk to my brother, my big bro, Fat Man Scoop.
Yeah, he
Scoop,
had it twice also.
yeah, me and him was talking back and forth while he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this
Yeah, I've
is
checked on
serious.
him a couple of times. I didn't know because like it was days that we hadn't seen him, and I was just like, "Yo,
Yeah,
you okay?" And he's like, "Yo, I had COVID," and then he came live to say it. But that was
yeah,
his second, kind of
yeah,
battle with that. So, and I
yeah.
think too, he was traveling so much, still, in the midst of this thing, thinking that,
Mm,
some things would actually, be fine. But we just don't know, not knowing where it is and what it is.
right.
It can. So you've gotten vaccinated, obviously. You're saying
No,
that.
I haven't. I need to get vaccinated. But the from what it's funny because I'm actually kind of hearing some mixed information about it now. But the information that I was given that you're supposed to wait 90 days after 90 days after you've completed your quarantine, then you should be safe to get vaccinated. So I can't get vaccinated until the middle of July.
Oh, wow. So
So,
this was recent for you.
oh yeah, well, the first time I caught it was May of 2020, but the second time was March of 2021, and I
What's the
got
anniversary?
literally like yeah, pretty much like just almost the same time. So April, I think April 10th or something like that was my last quarantine day.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm fresh off of it. So I, you know, I don't want no parts of this ever again. Like
I know.
they can't give me that needle fast enough.
Now they did say with the antibodies that you have from having the COVID, that is a layer of something. I'm not certain if we're going to classify that as protection or and it provides as a layer of immunity or what have you. I'm not certain, but obviously once you're able to get it, then prayerfully you'll be able to just get it and not worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess maybe I do have a little bit of a layer of protection, but
Yeah, because you've had it. So,
yeah.
that's what happens. The body has now
Mhm.
it can defend itself a little bit
Well,
more.
I think that's what makes the I think that's what makes the vaccine so dangerous because since I have the antibodies build up, if they give me a booster shot for it, it's like COVID on steroids. So that
COVID on steroids. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So it makes sense that could kill me. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the antibodies built up in my
So
body.
soon. Yeah, so soon. Yes, they're
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
still trying to, be cautious about that. Well, take care of
yeah.
yourself. Keep your vitamins up, keep your alkaline
Absolutely.
water in, and, stay in when you
You
can.
see it. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Get your
I
rest, all of that amazing stuff, so that we can have you out to tell more stories after COVID about guess what we did? Guess what we
yeah,
did?
yeah. Well, I did one show and we did a show on Mother's Day in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Um and of course on the plane I'm all masked up, but I mean I was different on stage than I normally am. I mean, I took the mask off while we was rocking and doing the show, but right afterwards, that mask came back on, and I see I'm a people person. I like going out into the
And that's
crowd.
what got you? You
I
think
think
that's where it came from?
no. This was after
Okay.
I had it. Though. This was
Okay.
after I had it. But I'm such a people person that like after the shows, I go out into the crowd. I take pictures with the fans, and I just love people. But I couldn't do that. I told the driver, "You gotta take me back to the hotel." So I went right back to the hotel, and that was it. And then I got back on that plane. I had my mask. I had my visor. I wasn't playing, and I got home, and I'm still COVID free. So thank goodness.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Next month, June 12th, we're gonna be in Michigan,
Okay.
performing on the Art of Rap tour. That's gonna be a little bit more difficult for me because I'm gonna
Who's going to
see.
be on that tour?
I don't know, but it's always like it's always people like Rakim or sometimes Ice T or what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, maybe Slick Rick or it doesn't. Whoever it is, it's gonna be people that I know and love
Yeah.
and they all gonna want to be around and talking and stuff, and it's gonna be a different me because I'm gonna be kind of standoffish. I hate to be that way, but I got one more month after June to get vaccinated, and then I could be more like the old me. You know what I'm
And
saying? So,
still, to a degree, we all probably need to stay safe anyway, regardless, just in case. I
right?
would say just the rest of this year because we don't know.
Yeah,
So don't
yeah,
rush it. Don't
absolutely.
feel like you have to. Please share all of your information, your website, your social media, so that anyone that wants to follow you for these events and such can.
Well, everything is pretty easy. Everything that I have social media wise is at DJ Diamond the artist. That's YouTube, Snap, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on this new thing called was it Clubhouse? The
Yeah.
one I'm on that. My whole name couldn't fit, so that one is at DJ underscore DTA, and DTA stands for Diamond the artist.
Yes.
So
And where did the artist come from before you leave us?
Oh, I mean, that's a dedication to Prince. May he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? It was funny because as a joke, he nicknamed me that. We was we used to crack jokes all the time. It was a fun situation, and I forgot what happened, but he said something. I said something that was funny, and everybody was cracking up and laughing. And Prince gave me that look. He was like, "Whoa!" He said, "Well, we should call you the artist," because they were calling him the artist because they didn't know what to call him because he was just a symbol at that point. He said, "So from now on, we're gonna call you the artist, and you're gonna cut the checks for everybody." But the funny thing was after that. But after that, like the band would say, Diamond the artist. It was a joke though, but later on,
Walked into it.
I just kept it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, Prince was he Prince taught me a lot. He taught me music. He taught me first of all musicality. I went when I went with Prince, I was a DJ. I was a dope, solidified DJ. By the time I left Prince and moved on my journey, I was a musician.
There you go.
Big difference.
Yeah, big difference.
Big difference. Big
Absolutely.
difference.
Yes.
So I owe Prince a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I definitely owe him a lot. So that's what you have.
Amazing time.
DJ Diamond, the artist.
Yes.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had an amazing story. DJ Diamond, the artist, has left us so many gems, so much motivation to be out here in this great space.
We need to have a part 2 because I didn't even talk about my album.
Okay, we will have a part 2. And but before we go though, your album, when is it coming out?
My first single that I'm going to release is going to be in July.
Okay, well that's soon. So yes, tell us what that's going to be.
The single itself is actually, well, the funny thing is like since I'm independent and I'm no longer signed to any of these labels that have put the handcuffs on you and do treat you like a slave. I get to that's really what it is. So but now I've got my own money and I can move at my own pace. So the album itself is going to consist of hip hop, of course, but the first single is something completely like different. The first single that I'm putting out is something called Go Bananas. And I literally looked at the climate of the world and the way the people are and how antsy everybody is to get back out into the world. And this song actually fits what's going on. People are just ready to go, excuse my French, they ready to go ape shit. They ready to go bananas.
Right.
So that's the first single I'm putting out. It's called Go Bananas. And it's not really like hip hop. It's more like a Jersey club type of record. But it's a record, it's a fun record that's going to get everybody motivated and moving in a certain direction. And I just wanted to have a little bit of fun before I got to the real songs. So
we're going to definitely do a part 2. Let me know when you're ready, and then we can sample the song. You know how I like to do, play it and have a good time with it and all that. I love
Hopefully
it.
My studio should be up and running by then, and then I can
we get a sneak peek there. Oh yes, we'll do it. Then you can get on those turntables right there that I wanted to hear, and have you do a little mix.
If I do that, then we're gonna have to do 4 more interviews because once I start, I don't stop.
Well, we can because on YouTube we're good. We love IG, but on YouTube we can rock. So we might have to plan something fun to be able to do that. Yeah, I told you that DJ and stuff. I like all that. So
I do that. Holla at me, sis.
And we definitely will. Thank you so much for joining Champagne and Conversations. It's been amazing. So nice to be able to hear all the wonderful stories. And we wish you the best in your health and wish you the best in your next venture, which is your new project. And we're going to come out of this COVID and be ready to rock. Have a good probably holiday, I guess. We'll look there, holiday, and then
weekend. Yep.
Well, we'll see. Are you going to party for Memorial Day weekend?
I am not. I'm going to party at the crib.
There's a versus coming for holiday for the weekend.
Oh, who's that?
That's going to be dope. Timberland and Swizz, they're going to do a versus.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And I was like, Timbo, that's no fair. We rep VA, but that's no fair because DMX Exodus is coming out this weekend. I'm like, come on, Swizz is going to take it.
Yeah.
We can't do that, but it'll be dope. It'll be dope. But still, for the culture, having a great time in the midst of the pandemic, we're figuring out ways to make it happen. So I love it. We're creatives in all respects, and it's been amazing. Yeah,
Absolutely. So
thank
next
you.
time we have to talk about me being the official DJ for MTV Making the Band, being Beyonce's original tour DJ, being the DJ for Anthony Anderson and Friends, being the DJ for Kevin Hart, Super Bowl halftime experience. I mean, the list goes on. So like
You
I
just
said,
said it all. You just gave us everything. As I asked, was tell us your best moments about those that you said you were fans of before. See, you just ran it all.
well, we'll talk about it next time. We'll
Okay,
save the convo for
that'll
that.
be a part 3.
Yes. And
Yes.
I will bring champagne next time.
Oh, we got it.
I had
By
to have
then
that.
we'll have it all over.
I
We'll
had to
have it
have
on
the
both
alkaline.
sets.
But that's what I'm talking about. Oh no,
Yes,
don't get me wrong. I can go grab a bottle right now. I got the bottle, but I still had right. I'm doing the alkaline water right
that's
now,
right.
trying
You
to
got to get better.
build
Then
myself
we'll
back up.
party. We'll
I
party.
got you
Well,
though. I
I'll do
got you.
that for you this time. Cheers to
Well,
you.
cheers
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. And
Yep.
we look forward to talking with you again soon, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Diamond, the artist. Thank you for joining Champagne and Conversations.